man JC, and I promised you guys a video, something new. Yeah, I promised you guys a Q&A, and that is why I'm here. I'm here to answer your questions. I very rarely get the chance to do this, so I cultivated over on Facebook a post letting you guys know where to find that cultivation experiment, where to find that one Facebook post which allowed you guys to put in your questions so that I can then read them and give you the answers. I also posted a video over on YouTube explaining the fact that I was going to be making said video, this video today, and I'll also be checking that out later on. So let's get to it, shall we? Here is the Facebook post, and it reads, I will be making a new Q&A video over on my YouTube channel soon. Are there any questions that you would all like me to answer in the upcoming YouTube video? And then I put a question mark. 41 likes, 52 comments. Let's dive straight in, shall we? Mia says, I would like to hear more about how to deal with negative people. I have to be around this person and I feel all of the hate and anger radiating from him. I can relate. I thought I was feeling this way until I figured out I was picking up on how he felt. This is a common issue, Mia, that a lot of people have. They tend to accidentally feel other people's emotions. Well, not. Yeah, it is an accident. You don't want their energy. It just flows through you, and every now and then you may be mistaken as to believing that it is your own energy. And that's because consciousness is a great thing. It's a great tool for starters. You can use it in certain areas of your life. You can shift to certain states of consciousness, certain types of characters to attract certain types of situations. But what it does is, and somebody posted it on Ryan Cropper's Friends, they posted a photo of a guy leaning his head against another guy and his brain was leaking into the other guy's brain. And that is because energy as a whole, it moves into another energy body because it recognizes itself within another person. Now, I'm not saying that your energy, you have to have hatred within you in order to feel or to absorb this person's energy. But what I am saying is, you are consciousness. So is everyone else. So it's like trying to mix water in water and not trying to get a certain after effect. You know, trying to make sure that one piece of water, one state of liquid is trying to stay the same when you're actually just surrounded by the ocean. So it's really hard not to become influenced by other people's energy because you're amongst energy all the time. But it's not impossible, not entirely. You see, you will have energy come into you, but it's about your response that's important. How you respond to the energy. You're supposed to be like a filter. The energy comes in and then it comes out. It flows through you. Okay? But the only problem is when you take things personally, it grounds and it gets stuck inside you. Now, the reason why you would take things personally when you feel another person's hatred or jealousy or envy is because there was a moment in your life, you may not be able to remember it right now, it's fine, but there was a moment within your life, even if you've just observed it in other people, where you've encountered an interaction where you felt said energy. And because you felt the energy, it made you, at your level of consciousness, come up with a story, or it made you try to make sense of the situation under those conditions when you were feeling the energy. And because you couldn't fully figure out what was going on, the condition, because there was still some mental confusion, that blockage stays within you. So that mental confused state, that mental perceptual state, that way of looking at it is still stuck within you because you haven't quite, not made peace, but you haven't quite figured out your mental state in the past. You came up with you had the interaction, you couldn't quite figure it out, the energy was attached to it, the hatred, the envy. And because you couldn't figure it out, you kind of just left it there on the shelf. You didn't really go back to it and try to resolve it, right? And it's because of this that you have these issues within the present moment. You're having energy come up and it's getting stuck really because your subconscious mind, that energy in you that's trying to figure out that story, that perceptual belief as to how you were trying to figure out that problem. It's trying to present itself now within the present moment, giving you another chance to figure out a new way of looking at that energy or the old circumstance, the old scenario, in order for the energy not to get stuck in you anymore, so it just flows through you. Now, you don't need to go to your memories to solve these issues. This is why these energies keep coming through you and keep manipulating your circumstances, so you can constantly feel like you're in the same situations. It may suck, like a constant cycle of repetition or deja vu, you know, same energy, different faces, but you kind of need it. It's always going to help you fix the problem. It's always giving you the time that you need in order to sit with the energy and to pick it apart. Now, when you sit with the energy and you go within the past, you can find other memories of this issue. That's great. That's really great. Because then you know where it's coming from. But that's fine. Now you need to come back to the present, feel the energy, and you've got to figure out, okay, why is it that I feel so upset when I feel his energy? Has it actually got anything to do with me? And then when you start to contemplate and observe the energy and how it's making you feel, you should come up with the accurate, true perception or way of looking at things, which should clear that blockage so that when this energy does cycle through you, it can just be released. So yeah, you have to be aware of how these energies are cycling through you when you're accidentally picking it up off other people, you know, being that hypersensitive being that you are, that empathic being. And I don't mean empathy as in you're feeling someone else's emotional state and you're trying to willingly compare by bringing up emotional states within the past that you can relate to. That's not what I mean by empathy. What I mean by empathy is you can feel their energy come into your emotional body and change your thought process, sometimes making you behave completely different as to how you would normally behave under certain circumstances if the energy wasn't there. You know, so, and another problem is with this energy, I guess, leakage, just leaking into your body and you just exuding other energies, right? This can also become a problem because really you don't have free will. This energy really does determine your thought process and how you're going to see a situation. That is why it's the main issue, because you think you're living by free will when really you're just being limited to the thoughts that you have at your disposal to make sense out of any given situation.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah. How's it going?
How you living?
Doing good. Just making a video on the Q&As. I posted to my audience who are really into astral projection. I posted to them that I was going to be hosting a Q&A, and just in time you've called. But I've got quite a bit. I've got 336.
You say about three? Yeah. How many comments do you have?
336.
Ooh, that is a lot.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I have about 250.
Yeah.
Not quite as much to do it, but I mean, hey, still a lot of questions.
Yeah. So you get asked a lot of questions as well, don't you? I mean, let's see if we can come up with the most obvious ones, and we can probably use this footage and we can use it in something and we can give it to them from our perspectives, two astral projectioners answering their questions, and hopefully we answer the ones that keep coming up, because you know every now and then I get faced with repetition.
Yeah, for sure.
Not a fan. Not a fan of repetition.
I would say it's a little more than every once in a while.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I know about you because I've checked you out on YouTube. I know about you, and if we're gonna make this video public, who are you? For those new people coming in.
Okay. All right. For those who may not have seen me before in any videos, my name is Gordon Xavier. I share different ideas on YouTube revolving the paradox that we are as human beings. You know, navigating the physical side of life as well as the non-physical. I think the things that really interest me and interest a lot of people, it's all human things that we share, is the dream world, you know. And I explored, I share different ideas and experiences about lucid dreaming, astral projection. That's just kind of what I'm exploring at this stage of my life. And you know, Many people find it to be useful, interesting. So far, this journey's just been doing nothing but growing, evolving.
Oh yeah, I've noticed as well from 2012 when I first went public with my astral projections, you know, and I was doing it for 4 years. I wasn't telling anyone about it.
Yeah.
When it came to 2012,
it's kind of experiencing to talk about, you know.
Yeah, I mean, was it being in a spiritual closet? And come 2012, I just thought, to hell with it. I wasn't, you know, I was falling out with most of my friends anyway. So honestly, the real reason why I came out with what I was doing was to attract people who were like me, you know, like yourself. Because it's cool to have a grounded conversation, grounded in spirituality.
Yes.
You know, not grounded as in earth stuff that people deal with within their mundane lives. I mean, grounded as in truth, spirituality. It's cool to have those chats, those conversations with people like us. Because it's like an outlet. Kind of,
yeah,
you know?
For sure.
If you don't, it kind of builds up and you get depressed. You can't turn to anyone always to think you're crazy. Right?
Yeah, like, it's amazing. A lot of these ideas that we talk about, people consider taboo, you know? And so when you try to talk to people on the streets about it, they kind of shy away or look at you a little funny. And it's really refreshing to be able to just jump right off the bat, you know? Like right off the bat, we're on the same page and we can just flow with it.
Definitely. And like I said earlier, the questions, since I started teaching it, even noticed, and I got the whole section on my YouTube channel saying astral projection advice, accumulated from years of independent studies on myself, and I've just put it out there for everyone to get, for everyone to see, and I got a website about it. Still, we got a load of stuff. So I'm going to bring up on my screen, I'll start with the Facebook ones first, and bring up yours as well. I've noticed there's a little tab or a little button you can push on Facebook that says top comments, I believe. Or is that just on... No, that's just on YouTube. Maybe Facebook would have something similar.
No, yeah, I have it too. I have it on YouTube. I'm looking at it now, top comments.
Oh yeah, I'm on YouTube as well. So
before we get into any more questions, though, I like for any subscribers of mine that may not have stumbled across your videos, just you as well, give a brief kind of summary of your journey.
Dude, my journey with astral projection.
Yeah.
It's a good one. I wish I would have made a movie about my life. I guess YouTube's kind of the closest thing I'm going to get, really, right? I mean, until I somehow make loads of money and become a video producer. But my journey, I've always been able to see dead people. I was born this way.
Wow.
A huge amount of awareness straight off the bat. And I could see through people. Even as a kid, I remember distinctively, sat in London in a park. I remember not being able to speak, feeling the gum line of my mouth. And I remember my mum having an argument with my dad. And even though this I couldn't speak, or I didn't have any perceived life experience from other people's perspective, you know, I was just born, of course, I haven't been around apparently. So I was sat there and I could understand everything they were saying. I understood the program of the scenario that they was in, you know, the same scenarios that everyone gets in. I understood why they were going through it, everything. I even to this day remember what I was thinking as a baby, as I couldn't move my neck properly and I was being suspended by my scarf. You know, I remember everything because I've always had this huge amount of awareness. And to this day, I like to pick apart my awareness, trace through shifting my consciousness, which I call meditation or deep contemplation. And I go through my awareness, I take these mental gymnastics, these exercises, and I put them into a course. And I teach people how to do things, so I just put it onto my YouTube channel. I teach people how to do things for free also on there. And, you know, let's scale it back to when I was born. I was like that. I was seeing dead people. I was seeing ghosts walking up and down my stairs, just standing there sometimes. I was being woken up by entities. And I'd see a dog oftentimes run through into my sister's room, through the wall.
Wow.
And, you know, growing up like that, I remember this one time we were sat, me and my twin brother, watching The Mask on TV. Jim Carrey with the green face.
Yeah.
And really what we was watching was the thing standing in front of the TV, right, which was this woman just staring at us, right? So we start freaking out because we start watching movies. We were watching movies prior to the experience. So we had this expectation that what we were looking at was scary and they wanted to take our soul and torment us and all this stuff. So we're screaming pretty loud because we could see this thing in front of the TV.
I would be too.
We're freaking out, and my mom and my dad walk in and they see us screaming at the TV. They think we just don't like the movie, The Mask, Jim Carrey. But it wasn't just ghosts. We were seeing things, tiny little things, little creatures, with arms, legs, running around our floor. And running into the walls. This one time...
It's amazing. I have a friend like that.
Yeah?
I have a friend back home in St. Louis that he can see things that the naked eye can't catch. And he just talks about them so calmly and normal. And I'm like... that's amazing.
There's this one thing in these... What do they call them? Skirting? The bottom of the wall. You got that bit of wood, right? Well, every now and then, I would watch that thing as I fell asleep. Well, as I fell asleep, right? And then as I blinked, there would be an opening in the wall about 6-7 inches. And then this thing would come out and walk around the house, right? Like, always. This thing, always. And it would climb up onto my bed covers. And it would be tiny, had like a really smushed face like this. A hat, really dark skin, like super dark.
A leprechaun? Like a leprechaun?
Smaller than a leprechaun. Leprechauns, when I see them on TV, leprechauns are like this, right? Well, this was like the size of my mug. It was pretty small. And so it was like this. And,
wow.
Yeah, so we started seeing these things, and as I grew up, I realized something pretty obvious. And that was, it wasn't just me seeing these things whilst I was in 3D, but I was blurring the lines of reality, of this side of reality, in the astral realms. I was, what I thought was going to sleep, and thinking I just failed at trying to go to sleep, trying to get to sleep, and I'd open my eyes thinking I was still in 3D, and then I'd see these things. So I thought that these things were in 3D. But they weren't. I was just where they were, in the astral realm. But I didn't realize this until I drowned in 2000 and... When did I drown? I was 16 when I drowned. In a quarry, a local quarry. I did a radio interview about that on my YouTube channel. If you guys want a more in-depth look at that, check out that video.
I'll check that out.
I drowned and died. And because, again, with all the fear of the occult, meaning you can't see it, it's hidden, these entities, these little creatures, these fairies or fae, or other things which are quite huge. Like, I've seen, I'll get to it later, but some of these entities are larger than, you know, they're taller than most people.
Yeah, for sure.
And they live in certain areas of these astral realms, and they would be considered as giants because of the size, the magnitude of them. But, yeah. So, through the fear of watching my nan's videos of horror movies, watching Hellraiser, Freddy Krueger, you name it, any of them, Lawnmower Man, I would just download all that fear. I suppressed all of, plus my life was terrible at the time. I was being physically abused by my dad, physically abused by the people in my school, on the street, on the bus. This guy used to grab my head and pick me up just by my head, and I could feel my spine pop. But I'm terrified. I used to think it was going to like, break something. I used to do it to my twin brother as well. So that additional stress, plus what I'm seeing on TV, plus what I'm actually experiencing in the astral realms, caused me to suppress the memories. And I actually forgot about them for a while. Until I drowned.
That's deep.
And then when I drowned, it resurfaced the memories. It put me in the same mindset that I used to be, in the same wavelength of thinking, that near death, not even near death, I was dead. I drowned, and I had the choice to either leave or come back. When I say near death, I don't mean like thrashing around and almost. I was dead.
How old were you?
I was 16. And that was really the turning point, because I started to remember everything, and then I was like, wait a second. Those things weren't just in 3D, I was in their domain also, I was in their realm. And then I started to piece together my mindset whilst I was astral projecting. I didn't even know it's called astral projection back then. I started to piece together how I was doing it. Then I built up the astral projection 4-step system based on what I could gather at that time. And then as I got more evolved, the astral projection, I started to come up with the 10 steps, you know, and I put that on my website. And now, after like all these years have passed, like all the information on YouTube and everything,
right.
I'm at the point where I'm getting to the higher dimensions. I'm not even doing the 10 steps anymore because I don't need to. My body's just learned how to do it. The same way you guys can fall asleep, I can just lay down and I'm out of my body.
Man, I'm like, right now, I'm excited. Like, I want to learn from you, man, because, you know, you're talking of experiences that I have not yet reached yet, you know, and I've had little glimpses of them, little bitty tastes, but I haven't quite, you know, had full experiences of, you know, seeing other entities in the way in which you describe. And it's amazing because I've heard other people, you know, describe the same thing. So it's like, and people that, you know, I know personally, and, you know, so I mean, they have, you know, I know them, and it's just amazing. Like, so yeah, I want to learn from you, man. Hopefully we can exchange some good ideas, because, you know, I'd be happy to apply them, and I'm sure I have subscribers that want to hear, you know, some more of your insight. So.
Oh yeah, I help you out because I went from being able to accidentally astral project to then deliberately astral projecting to the etheric realm, which is a whole different technique. And then there's the astral projection technique I developed again, which I haven't told anyone, and or have I? Perhaps I may have mentioned it in one of the 10-step courses, where I dematerialize out of this body and I show up somewhere else. So we were using visions in order to get somewhere. I had a vision where I saw a vision, a flash, I was on the beach. Like, just vision. Not my body or anything, just a vision. And then I bounce back, I'm in my body, my awareness is in my body. The next thing I know is I'm standing on the beach and I can feel the sand and the air and everything. That was a separate way of even getting to that point, you know, astral projecting in that manner.
Would you call that remote viewing?
The first part wasn't remote viewing. It was astral travel, which is when you move your consciousness to see one location. It's like you're a fly on the wall. That's probably one of the easiest ways to move your consciousness from, actually, yeah, when it comes to seeing things, that's one of the easiest ways. Because when it comes to telepathy, you feel other people in the room. That's information from a distance. So that's still that's one of the easiest ways. We use that every day, and some people get confused. But then I developed the way of using DMT. Last year, 2016, I started using DMT to see if what people were claiming was true, to see if it can, you know, progress into an astral projection experience. So I took the DMT, I synthesized it myself, I created it myself, my own little lab, and I took it, and I was not completely surprised, because all it did was remind me of when I astral project. The same things, the vibrations, the entities, the sacred geometry, everything was pretty much the same as when I was a kid astral projecting and as I am now astral projecting. The only thing that thing gave me clarity over is not only the fact that everyone else is experiencing what I'm experiencing without taking the external substance, but it allowed me to observe my own mindset so that I can create a new way of astral traveling so I can go to the higher dimensions, rather than just leaking into the etheric realm and seeing everyone else's nonsense on display. Everyone else's thoughts just manifesting in the etheric realm. This way, I can just see the sacred geometry like that, and then I'm in the higher dimensions, I'm seeing all this knowledge, I'm speaking to these entities. It's so much easier. It's faster also. You don't have to feel yourself sliding out of your physical body. The last time I did this was maybe 2 days ago. I was talking to the guy who was on Skype before I talked to you. I was talking for like 2 hours. But I started seeing into parallel dimensions, because you go outside of, you know, you got your parallel Earths, you've got other planes where other entities exist, which have nothing to do with Earth. And then there are these other life review, there's spaces in existence which help you deal with your stuff, such as dreaming, and, you know, there are other shades of space, put it that way, other planes of existences which help you in other ways. But the parallel Earth one, I'm seeing these images, remote viewing, to other parallel Earths, other people in my house, where the furniture is now being rearranged in the house. You know, like
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
red,
I've experienced that.
yeah, a red toolbox, I ain't got a red toolbox, it's grey. So I'm starting to see certain things. My mum's slightly younger, and I'm starting to bounce back and
Yes,
forth.
yes. I've had those same exact
Yeah.
experience, man. And I posted a video a while back called Astral Theories. And in that video, I kind of just explored because I mean I'm no expert on these things. I just theorize, you know, what exactly it is I'm experiencing. And that's one of the conclusions I came to was I think sometimes when you astral project, you end up slipping into a parallel reality of the one you're living in now because I'll get up on my bed and my room will be very similar, but it's slightly different. Sometimes it's exactly the same, you know? So it's just like, it seems like you have control over exactly where it is you land. Because for me personally, I can end up here or I can end up somewhere completely different, you know? And, you know, I'll be around like other people. I'll see my dad in one room. I'll see my stepmother in another room. But then one time I saw them all, it was really strange. They were all kind of just frozen in time in the kitchen / living room area. And they were kind of just standing there. And it kind of freaked me out, but, you know, like, so what sense could you make of that? Like,
that could be the astral bodies which aren't conscious. Some people's astral bodies, they go for a walk and they sit down. You astral project, you see someone's astral body, it's not connected to their physical body. Their physical body may be doing something else in 3D, but they're so disconnected. You know, and that's most likely why they're always feeling energetically depleted, because their energy bodies they're not layered up one on top of each other. They're just moving around, and sometimes they're on the floor. You know, when you astral project and you bump into people in 3D, you see their energy counterparts, and they're not always quite attached to them. They could be doing other things, but it's not like they're sentient. It's not like they're conscious, because you're the consciousness of that energy body.
right.
It's just where you left it, right?
Okay.
So you could accidentally astral project, and you project somewhere, and then you come back to your physical body, and there's still like an echo effect. It's like an after effect. It's like a drag, and it's still there. So the energy, some energy of your astral body is in your body still, but some of it, most of it, is still somewhere else. You're still connected. You just need a bit of a slap, so you bounce back all into one.
But kind of the same, I guess, aspect of like daydream. Like you'll find yourself like, or people, the term people say they're sleepwalking. You know, they're kind of living life, but they're aloof. They're off somewhere in La La Land. You could, I guess, bring that attention back to the astral body, and it's off exploring.
Yeah, that's actually a cool way to look at it, because then you could find people astral projecting by accident whilst they're like zoning out. They don't even realize they're doing it. Like an astral travel. But not to jump to conclusions, guys. If you've just heard me say that, you think, okay, I've been doing it for a long time, there's no reason for me to practice any of this stuff because I'm already a master. Have you ever had people like that?
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, come on now.
Yeah, we realize we're kind of just playing with ideas, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're exchanging ideas, different perspectives, you know. A lot of people that astral project and lucid dream, you know, I feel like no one's experience is going to be exactly the same, you know, like, because we're all unique, you know, energetically, physically, you know, so.
Plus, that's a blockage in and of itself. If you guys are lucid dreaming and you think that's astral projection, my goodness, it's not. So don't think or cling on to the idea that you've already accomplished it, because you're going to cut yourself off from experiencing some really cool stuff. Lucid dreaming is when you go inward to your subconscious mind. Getting astral projection to the etheric realm, you're going outward, leaving the body, and you're seeing everyone else's manifestations of their mind in its own space. And then, if you want to go beyond everyone else's mind, their projections, their etheric projections, then you go to the higher dimensional realms, okay, where you can't project things into those realities. It's different. The laws are different. Or you can go to the lower realms, which, like the really, really lower ones, which I'm not sure if come to think of it, I don't think I've ever been there. Like the really, really, really low ones.
I feel like you have to vibe on that level to go there. I mean,
yeah, you'd have to be like pretty bad. I mean, but to get back onto parallel universes, I saw like the visions of the parallel spaces, right? And then I found myself getting up on my body, thinking, okay, I'm here. I walked down the stairs and I'm looking at what I was seeing in the visions. in my astral form. Now I'm astral projecting. I'm projected out of my body and I'm clarifying, walking through the house. Yeah, I saw that in the astral travel. I saw that in remote viewing. This is pretty cool. And then everything turns into sacred geometry, right? And I find myself dematerializing as I become overwhelmed by the sacred geometry. And then I'm standing like this, like in free fall position, but like just completely not moving, above the earth, as the sacred geometry turns into the globe. Okay, and then what I think, okay, my friend Derek said that the earth is flat. Let's go check this theory out. So I start to fly over the earth, and as I'm flying over the earth, I see another earth. And as I look to my left, I see another one. And it's like a cube, 4 balls, which are earths. And as I look further away, there's more over there, and there's more over there. All exactly the same, but there's a slight difference. They all look the same, but there's a slight difference. And there were 3D Earths. They weren't astral Earths. Because the way the whole thing was situated, my frequency, what was being taught through the sacred geometry, because I can understand the sacred geometry now. I've had so many sacred geometry experiences with astral projection and DMT, it's like I've got that filter, I can decode what's going on. So what was happening is from the very start of the astral travel, the remote viewing, that was showing me, okay, parallel 3D Earths where you exist. And then I projected to those parallel 3D Earths in my parallel body, where you can move your consciousness to another body of you, like butterfly effect, right? Really cool.
Yeah.
And then I was above the earth. I got there through the sacred geometry. It was like something was showing me, okay, this is how it actually is in 3Ds. There's loads of them. And then I flew over the earth and I saw the other parallel Earths. And there's quite a few of them.
That's amazing, man. So, question, how would you get to that level of astral projection? How would you say that there's like tiers of consciousness in which you like rise in when it comes to astral projection? Like, how can I put that into words? Like,
yeah, I get it.
You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Because, like, in my experience, see, mine hasn't elevated to that level where there's been times where I've made it really high up in the sky, and I can begin to see the atmosphere, like, beginning to curve, but I can never make it quite out. Like, I don't know if it's my thoughts that bound me to certain circumstances when I'm astral projecting, like, my beliefs or anything, but, I haven't made it, like, to the point where, I can fly, I can totally leave the earth, so how would I guess, change my beliefs?
Yeah, it is your beliefs. It's your beliefs and what you're comfortable with experiencing. That's what it boils down to. If you're not comfortable with experiencing some unknown things, you're not going to get there. You're never going to see them. You're going to stop yourself from seeing them. So you have to go through the belief systems that you have towards astral projection, get rid of them, and then you become clear. You don't expect anything.
It's like the more open your mind is, the more doorways open.
Yeah, but you don't have to look, that's the thing. People think to be open-minded, you have to just be open and just start reaching for things. Just not it. You have to be clear and just, okay, what's next? I don't know, let's just wait. You have to be clear and just allow. That's open-mindedness. So then you'll start to figure things out in that state about yourself and how you view astral projection. You'll start to decode some of the belief systems you've had. You get rid of those things, they're just junk. And then what you want to do is you want to start meditating in the astral realms. You not only meditate in the astral realms, you want to meditate in your lucid dreams to study the crap out of yourself, because the lucid dream realm, your subconscious mind, is what stops you from getting to the higher dimensions. You need to meditate in your lucid dream state, and then you need to meditate in the etheric realm. Okay, the etheric realm, to understand the etheric realm, what it's made out of, how you're impacting the etheric realm. And that's when you start to shred and just start getting rid of all of the etheric thought forms attached to your etheric body. Okay, these thought forms, again, they hold beliefs into you. They're basically thoughts from other people that you've adopted that stop you from astral projecting. You start getting rid of all that, start cleaning it up, and then you can just project a huge thought form in the etheric realm of your bedroom. I did it with a hummingbird. Came through my window and I had an intelligent conversation with it, and then disappeared. Everything in my room went pink, like the color just exuded out of the wallpaper and everything. It was really cool. And I had this utmost clarity. I could be there for as long as time as I wanted to be there. I could just be there. And I just meditated. I understood everything in the etheric realm. That was a turning point. I was in the higher dimensions after that, straight away, I started seeing the sacred geometry, that using the memory of the time when I used DMT to get to the higher dimensions, to the gardens that I used to enter. The gardens used to be made out of sacred geometry. And there would always be beings that were dancing, and they would take me through a maze, and then they would sit me down. It was like, to get through the maze, only certain people would be allowed to the center of the maze. So they would guide me through it. They would get my attention really good at it. They would dance in certain ways. They know that otherwise you'll be distracted, right? So I would go into the center, and I just remembered, okay, what energies were present in my body at the time. So again, you need to have that awareness internally to be able to call upon energies that you have within your memory bank. You have memory, biological memory, or feeling a certain way during these experiences. You need to be able to call upon those in order to vibrate at a certain frequency so that you can get to the higher dimensions. And once you've meditated through all of those realms, you understood the etheric, the mental, you're really good with the mental plane, you're clean, and you have a certain amount of mental logic which prevent you from adopting other belief systems which make no sense, which only hold you down. That mental logic creates like a barrier. You know the truth. It's like when someone's trying to tell you something that you really know the truth. Like when your friend's telling you what happened to us. No, your friend's with you and there's someone in front of you and your friend is telling that person in front of you a story, but you were there, so you know they're making it up. It's like that. Yeah. You know the truth. So even though listen, people are telling you things, you know what's actually real. So that stops you from resonating on a low frequency. And then your keys, like, it's always in your hand. You're always going to be able to get to the higher dimensions whenever you want. So you need to be able to do all those things if you want to get to the level I'm at.
Okay, so this is a lot to take in for someone, especially that's like new to this kind of thing. So what would be, what's a good place to start for someone who simply just wants to, you know, because I feel like in my experience, you know, the dream world, lucid dreaming, it also has an effect on your ability to astral project. You know, I feel like, you know, astral projection is like another tier up from like lucid dreaming. You know, there's more consciousness involved that you have to kind of, you know, harness to be able to do this. So what's a great, you know, starting place for someone to cultivate just simply the consciousness to be able to remember the dreams, to lucid dream, to...
Well, first off, the 3D distractions, which prevent people from even remembering their dreams.
So being attached to the, I guess, being mentally too involved with the 3D world, the physical world.
Yeah, that will completely prevent you from remembering pretty much anything, including other memories, because your mindset, it'll be resonating on a frequency which won't allow you to remember the dreams, because your frequency in the dream space mentally was different. So you need to match the same frequency to record the memory. It's the same thing for memories of 3D. You go through different mindsets throughout your life. If you're one mindset now and you're trying to remember a memory that happened during another mindset, you're not going to remember it at all. So you need to be able to shift your mindsets. And, you know, every memory you have exists within your body. It's just a way to get that memory, which most people don't know how to do. And they just say, oh, it's not there. Or, oh, I don't dream. Everyone dreams. No one can...
everyone dreams.
Everyone
my
dreams.
cousin, I remember, I think, we may have Skyped like a while back, and I think you saw my cousin, and remember how he was talking, like, I don't remember reading my dreams. I remember, well, it's funny. I'm like, just try, just begin to allow yourself to remember them. You know, just like slowly, you know, allow yourself to tap into them, and you'll find that you dream. You know, and then now he's coming to me with these, you know, extravagant stories of like, man, I had this crazy dream the other night. You know, so it's kind of funny to see, you know, someone who genuinely believes they can't dream, they don't dream, to, you know, move to that place where it's, you know, they're experiencing this entire new reality fully. So, hey, quick, so you want to hop into the Q&A aspect of this then? Since we kind of got like a good basis of your understanding, my understanding, you want to...
Yeah, let's dive right into this stuff.
There's a lot of questions, man. We could let's try to find the ones that are reoccurring.
Let's go on YouTube first, and we'll go on top comments, because then, you know, collectively, they're the top comments. So we should start to match up the ones that are similar, right?
Yeah, I actually wrote down a couple of them that were like reoccurring, and people thumbs them up. I try to answer the ones that a lot of people have thumbs up. You know, it kind of shows similar interest. So let's see. I have a. Let's check it out. Here's an interesting question. It's from Erie17. She wants to know, is it possible to learn to heal the physical body in the astral plane?
Yeah, I've had that too.
Yeah, have you had that one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny, I actually have a friend who, he doesn't like consciously know how to do this, but he said he had a dream where he had the opportunity to, or dream or out-of-body experience. He said he was in this kind of like weird room, and he was sick earlier that day, right? And in this room, there was like different weird shapes and colors, and he had to match them. I don't know. It's a weird. I don't really know, but he had to match them like rearrange like this energy that was like latent in this room. And once he rearranged it to like an orderly place, he said he woke up and he was fever free. He was healed. He woke up. You know, I'm like, that's interesting. You know, but yeah, like interesting. Have you had any experiences with it?
Healed by my astral body? No. When I have energy come up with the astral body when I was 16 and when I was 16 to 18, my body was in a lot of pain. Actually, it was trying to calibrate to the astral energy. And that's when I had to change my diet in order to adapt to this new astral energy, which took my spirituality, my practices to a whole nother level. But,
yeah, I think, the closest thing that I would say that would heal your body that isn't really a physical aspect is like your thoughts. I mean, I think the thoughts, they affect you on a cellular level. So, I mean, if you want to, heal something within yourself, really, I think it's just a belief that you have to, rearrange your mind more so than going into the astral realm or dreaming, a certain way. I think it's just an adjustment of thought, and if done properly, you can heal yourself. Now, I'm not that far along, but I have seen patterns in my mind that prevent me. I don't get sick. It's very rare that I get sick. I think it's just a mindset. So.
I mean, at the moment, I'm on water fasting. I'm getting into it, so I'm feeling detox symptoms. When, I was thinking about making the video today. I was like, shall I make the video? Maybe it'll look kind of bad like that time. But I don't get sick neither. The only time I get what someone would call sick, if they looked at me, it's a detox. I have to tell them. It's a detox. I'm going through a detox. I'm fasting. I'm doing all this stuff. That's why. And it's because the environment is so toxic. You're seeing this runny nose and everything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's... I'll tell you what, though. What does help. Oh, yeah, to build on the mental thought, the clarity, it has an after effect. You change your mental mind, like a belief about something, and that has a knock-on effect to your habits and to how you respond to any given situation. If you have a belief that there's no protein in vegetables, you're not going to choose to become vegan. But if you get rid of that blockage, which really is fear, and that fear is, I'm scared that I won't get my protein, if you just come to the realization that there's actually more protein in raw veg, because you're not heating it up and destroying the amino acid complex, then it's like, okay, that makes more sense. So that belief then gets dissolved, and this new one takes root. And then that changes your decision making. You then physically buy food which heal your body. So it's all connected, all of the mental thoughts with the emotional body also that manifests within the physical body, causing, lump in the throat, you get tonsillitis. My dad's got throat cancer. He has a big problem with his truth. Speaking. It's his life, it's what he projects, it's what he's getting back.
Right.
I never sympathize with people who create their own reality a certain way. That's what they want, that's what they're getting. Why should I feel bad for how they make themselves feel?
No, for sure.
And it's just the way it is. And some people try to be too empathic with people who really I don't see why you should do that.
Yeah, I think the best thing you can do is, just share the thought that's going to aid them. I
Mm.
mean, or sometimes, in many cases, you can't even do that. You just got to let them learn through experience.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh man.
that's why I just call myself trying to push out the thoughts that aid you in, doing what it is you want to do. If you're not going to take them, then yeah, good luck. That's pretty much it. No feeling bad for you. You made a choice.
Yeah. I mean, the best thing to do, I've noticed this within my household and throughout the years, you can never tell someone else your business, because if they don't want to know it, you're gonna find out pretty soon. Like, when we get all excited about astral projection or dieting, and you come downstairs and you go, "Hey Dad," or "Hey Mum, I changed my diet and now I'm all hydrated and I can think faster because the electrons of, there's more conductivity within my blood because the water's purer." They're not going to really care, especially if their business at that time was reading a newspaper about something on TV. So what you've got to do is you've got to set up a situation in their life which relates to food. And then their business, because they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, because I had this and I had that, I had this sandwich." Then their business all of a sudden becomes your business.
Yeah.
Because it's healthy. And there are some tricky ways of doing that. Third-party conversations. You could have a Skype call with someone talking about food, walk into a room, someone's going to hear it, right? Then they're going to start talking about food. Now they're making your business their business, and vice versa. There will be some resistance towards what you're saying, but it will be received much easier when you approach a conversation in that manner. And a lot of people freak out because they're not talking, right? If you've ever had a conversation where you don't try to make you don't try to make your business their business, right? It's quiet in the room, and they hate it. Some people hate silence. They hate being with themselves, and they always think there's something wrong, like, as to why they're not talking.
True.
It's
very true.
You have to relate with something.
That's a great sign. That's a big sign of internal imbalance when you can't be at ease with silence. I mean, I think silence is one of the most powerful, useful aspects of consciousness. And if you're uncomfortable with that, that means there's a great deal of yourself that you're uncomfortable with.
Definitely. I mean, if you're in a room with someone, I figured out from my experience, the only way this can work, to have a solid conversation without any resistance, is if you've got enough in common to the point where you find yourselves in the same situations. Playing with food, yoga, gym, seeing cinema, or playing pool, any hobby. You have to be there doing it, so you're resonating on the same frequency, so there's no resistance there. If you're just in a room, and you ain't got much in common with someone, and you're in your business, and they ask you, even if they ask you, and if they're asking you because they don't like silence, they just want to fill the air with noise, you're going to have an argument. Because they're going to ask you about your business, which really they don't want to know. They're just filling the air with noise. And then they're going to be like, "Oh, I don't quite believe you about that." And then you just get in a heated debate or a heated argument, and that's how people are. You need to be okay with yourself. You need to be okay with silence. But,
That's funny.
It's funny.
Huh?
What else you got?
So you have a question on your side? I know you got tons of questions lined up. How about you throw one out there?
Here's one here. It's got a thumbs up. The Vlad, 4 days ago. Do all your chakra centers have to be fully opened in order for you to fully extract your astral body? So leave the body. Do all the chakra centers have to be open? Or do your chakras even have anything to do with astral projecting? No, this is a loaded one. Do you have to clear your heart and throat chakra in order to get to your third eye to fully manifest into your astral body? Thank you for this opportunity. Much love and light. Says the Vlad. That's loaded. It's loaded. What's your experience with
That's a great question.
Yeah. What's your experience with energy, chakras?
Yeah. In my experience, I would say it's definitely necessary. I mean, to bring and be able to have the energy flowing all throughout your body. It's necessary for you to be able to go even further. I mean, it's definitely necessary.
Yeah, it is necessary. I mean, I'll tell you what you can do, guys. Qigong. Even if you don't know all of the terms and you haven't been studied underneath the Grandmaster or anything like that, just being self-aware of your own energy is enough. A lot of people think they have to master something for it to have an impact. You don't. You just need to have some foundation, some foundational knowledge. Again, a lot of people do the chi ball. This will align your chakras, your astral body, and allow you to astral project much faster. The chi ball, they think they're doing this, and they think there's a ball inside their hand. It's not a ball. It's not. Your energy comes up this way on your left hand.
I saw that video of
It
yours.
comes up and it comes down. Okay? This one, it goes down and then it comes up this side. I only know that because I can feel it. When I come into this field of energy, it's pulling my hand down. So what you want to do is, this hand comes up, this hand's being pulled up by the energy field because this one's coming up, so it's dragging my hand up. Okay, you go down and you feel some drag. You go around and it's trying to put your hand into a circle. You want to do that with your entire body. And you're going to have to get naked, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't like being naked with yourself, then that's your problem. That's another blockage you need to get over if you want to do this. You need to really experiment. Be in the room, make sure it's cozy and hot. You don't want to get cold or anything. Or just do it in boxers if you don't want to do it naked. But you'll feel your hairs stand on end as the electrical charge in your body picks up. Your whole body, you'll feel it comes up here, comes up, and the energy goes down your spine. You'll feel it. If you put your hands, palms, like prayer hands, not completely together, an inch in diameter, and you come up your body, once it gets past this part of your body, your hands will naturally want to go up. That's because it's channeling, it's picking up, or it's hopping on that highway of flow, of ki flow, or chi, or vril, kundalini. They're all the same thing. Different religions call it different things.
Different cultures give it different titles.
Different cultures, different titles, all the same thing. This will really balance your chakras. It will balance the flow. You could even push it out and pull it in. If you've really, been experiencing this, if you've been doing this for a long time, you can knock people off balance. I stood.
I've seen a video where this guy has the ability to shock people.
Yeah.
From the overflowing of energy in his body.
His water content in his body is perfect. It's distilled. After my fast, I'm not sure what will happen, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to generate more electricity within this vehicle, or more light. And who knows what could happen. I'm not expecting anything, but it'd be cool if I can do something on a physical, see it from the physical side.
On a physical scale, be able to move something, telepathy, or, the transfer of that energy.
Rather than people just being able to pick it up in the hidden side of reality that they're also in tune with. And that's how they know that you're interacting with them. Like when you see someone from a distance and they turn around and look at you, you're not having to throw something at them in 3D to get their attention, but they're picking up from a hidden plane, a hidden frequency that most people can't see. They're picking up your vibes, and that's why they're able to turn around. I'd love to be able to get to that point. But yeah, that's how I heal my... Not heal. I guess you can say heal. I correct. Energy.
Release that energy.
Release it, and you can transmute it. You can change
Cultivate it.
Cultivate. You can do so much things. You can push it into people, into objects.
And something I want to add to that is a great way to get that energy flowing in your body is also physical exercise. I mean, like yoga. Yoga is amazing, especially hot yoga. There's been times where I've engaged in a hot yoga class and got my body loose, had the sweat going, and I can literally feel the prana. I can feel the chi, the kundalini, literally just circulate throughout my entire body. And doing that puts you in a great frame of mind. It makes your body sensitive enough so that you're able to kind of direct it and, do things like lucid dream, astral project. I would say that when I first came across astral projection and being able to do that, that was a time in my life where I was exercising more than any other time in my life. I feel like if I was, I think everything affects everything. If my body was tense, those energy channels in my muscular system, my nervous system were blocked up and the energy wasn't flowing properly, then it would be very difficult for me to raise that energy up to where it needs to be raised.
Exactly. I mean, even sex.
Yeah.
I mean, some people, they say the girls, I actually kind of agree with this. Girls, or women, the female body, it's wired to feel energy stronger than the male's body, naturally through sex. That's why they can orgasm in so many different ways. You know? But a lot of people won't want to touch that, because, again, blockages. There are so many blockages within spiritual people, which prevent them from even having breakthroughs, ego death.
Mm-hmm.
When you go out through the head and you go back to source creation, you forget everything. Same thing can be done through the art of, some people call it tantra, some people call it sex, some people call it love. You'll get to a point, and you can only get to this point when you see everything as one thing. So you dilute or you get rid of what causes within your mind the perception of separation between these acts.
Yeah.
And then when you get to that point and you see yourself in the other person and you can move your energies, you're going to break through. I can only say this because I've done it.
The world will be transformed.
Oh, yeah.
If people began to see the divinity in each other, and see the connection, we'd be slower to killing each other. We'd be slower to insulting each other.
It wouldn't happen.
I think the biggest, I'm spiritual to the point where, I believe in a higher power. I believe in an intelligence, God, that, it runs through everything in existence. And most people look at God as this entity in the sky where He's going to punish you if you don't qualify for heaven. You're gonna be sent to the dog pound. And I look at God as more like the source from which we all spring. And if we all spring from the source, that means we're made up of the source. And you'll see, that energy, that chi, it exists in everything. It's that omnipresent energy. If everybody acknowledged that in each other, they saw that divinity in each other, the world would we'd be so much quicker to world peace, But we have that separation that kind of it really throws off our perception of each other, our perception of our abilities, It just throws things off, That's crazy. It's crazy you say that. That's something I've really been grappling with the last few days.
That's why I became vegan.
Yeah.
Because I could see myself in the animals I was eating.
Yes.
It was horrible.
Yes.
It felt like cannibalism. And people may say, but they're not human. They got red blood cells. It's still the same shape and everything.
It's the same thing.
So
there's not that many differences between me and a cow.
No. And I wasn't even looking at it from the logical perspective first. That wasn't how I did it. I did it from the spiritual perspective first. I saw myself in the animal. I felt that thing think as if I was in two places at once. I can't eat it. It's horrible. That's why I stopped. And I think, you say quicker, I think it'll be instantaneous. That shift within me, I just woke up one day.
Yeah.
And there we go.
Boom. Easy. And you don't attach yourself to your physical body, so you can astral project faster. Yes.
Because you don't think you're your physical body. You automatically get rid of the programming that's been installed upon you throughout your life, especially if you're black, and you have the black habits or the black programming, the way you speak, the way you dress, the way you smoke, the things you swear and stuff, the things you eat. This one woman, she said she was surprised that I didn't smoke weed because of my skin color. And I said, are you joking? Do you think that I have to smoke cannabis just because I'm half black? It was ridiculous. And I was like, I do not identify with this physical body.
I'm going to spit that water out everywhere, yo.
But, when you start to realize you're not the physical body, those programs disappear, so your character starts to become lighter. You start to get rid of these things that create your character, the programs. And then people will say, oh, you've changed, Ryan. You've changed. You're not drinking anymore. You're not behaving a certain way. You haven't got an ego. Your character's changed. Your dress sense has changed. I don't like you anymore. So, okay, I know that you didn't like me in the first place then. You just like this character, this front.
You like this persona.
So, fine.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. But, quicker to world peace. I would like to find a way to get everyone out of their body like that. But,
I think, it expands your awareness, I think, trying to decide what came first. I'm pretty sure that astral projection really did start my journey towards, realizing that there's more. Most people are just they're indulged in the idea that this is all there is. But I'm like, look how big the universe is, first off. Look how big the universe is. There's no way that this is it, there's no way.
I had a interesting conversation at my last workplace before I became self-employed. By the way, people, astral projection, manifestation, you can see how this dream is put together so you can manifest whatever you like. I manifested self-employment first because that was one of the main issues I had. I then manifested a girlfriend because I needed one at the time. And then, and now I'm in the process of manifesting a place to move into, which I can do whenever I like. I'm also manifesting travel, so I can travel to other countries. I want to travel to sacred places and make vlogs there. You're going to be seeing that on my YouTube channel pretty soon. So when you become aware of this 3D matrix of thought programs, it's hologram, same as a dream. You know,
it's the same as a dream.
The character reflects the dream state, or it's the other way around in the subconscious dream. Your subconscious creates the character for you to unconsciously experience your dream realm. Same thing in 3D. You have a character in 3D which allows you to experience your specific frequency of being, your lifestyle. Change that, you change your world. The only way to figure out how to do that is to astral project and, you know, step out of this character and jump into another one. So, parallel universes, dreams. Oh, wow, it's incredible.
I think this is a great segue to ask this next question.
Yeah.
So Kristen5436 wants to know, is it true that astral projection is dangerous? And then she parentheses demons and stuff. And I think that's a really great place to segue because, you know, we're talking about beliefs and how your beliefs, you know, your environment in the physical world as well as the astral world, it tends to reflect that in which you have programmed in your mind. And your beliefs, they open up doors. They direct your consciousness to look for these specific things in which you believe in. So, for example, if I believe that, you know, I'm vulnerable and I'm at effect when it comes to dreaming, like if I believe, you know, scary things are going to happen to me and I go into this experience being fearful, well, it's that much more likely that if that situation does arise, I'll be at effect, you know. But if I have the belief that I'm in control, you know, I'm strong in my resolution, I'm grounded in me, you know, it's that much more likely that will occur, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I did a video on the dangers of astral projection from A to question mark, because really there are no perceived dangers. Because when you say dangers, people can only come up with a false experience or a nightmarish thought based on what they think they know already, which is only a 3D experience. Pain, smells, being cold, you know, kind of cold hell or hot hell. So
yeah, I tell people not to like anticipate, you know, this experience because it's a new experience in and of itself, you know, like it's unique to itself. So if you anticipate it, you can only bring forth the experience, you know, that you already have on your belt, which is, like you said, of this 3D world. You know, you're applying things that apply to this physical world to something that's not this physical world.
And you'll always go to the ethers. Sorry to cut you off, but I wanted to say this before I forget. You'll always go to the ethers if you have that intention, because only in the etheric realm can you create such an experience out of what you already know. It's to deal with thought forms and manifesting thoughts into a space, a plane of existence, you know, such as the etheric realm. So even if you have those beliefs or those fears, you're not going to go higher. You won't go any higher.
Yeah. Your thoughts, I believe your thoughts are what elevates you, you know, the energy. You know, I look at everything as energy. You know, your thoughts are energy, you know, and if you have these certain thoughts in your head that keep you at this energetic level, you're not going to, you know, you're going to stay at that energetic level, but the higher you raise your thoughts and vibration, you know, the more likely it is you'll rise to, you know, different astral realms, different dream realms, different experiences in the physical reality. See what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everything makes sense to me. I've been through so many different perspectives, so many different characters that I know I can understand the majority of people on this planet, from where they're coming from where they're at in their development. I can understand all of it. You know, and I may not respond in a certain way, but it doesn't mean I don't understand. It just means that I'm not programmed to respond in a certain way, if that makes sense.
Right.
Right? Because people think that in order for you to understand them, you need to react a certain way. And that's a program in and of itself. But I don't have that programming. So I'll understand what you're saying, but I'm not going to give you the other half of the program. I'll give you the solution to dissolve the program that causes you to think or behave in a certain way. But I'm not going to change who I am or adopt a belief or adopt a way of being just to make another person feel comfortable because they feel upset.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people feel understood. Yeah, they feel misunderstood all the time. And with an energy being like us, you get to a certain point of consciousness. We can be perceived as being rude, as being cold, heartless, harsh, or blunt, or bold. But really, in all honesty, what we're thinking, what's going through our head, it's not what's normally going through most people's heads. So people always misunderstand us, you know, and that's fine. We don't expect them to understand us because we don't expect most people to be at our level yet.
And it's just like once you make it to a certain level of consciousness, once you make it to a certain understanding, that need for people to understand begins to fall away, you know. So it's not as if I don't care. It's just I don't need you to approve, you know. I mean, obviously, when we look at this, we make videos online talking about, you know, very out there topics, put ourselves all, you know, we don't need anyone's approval to be what we are, you know. And a lot of people are kind of, is that programming once again, where we live in a society where everybody, you know, is just influenced in a way in which we begin to crave acceptance from other people. Oh, yeah. It's not necessary, you know. Yeah. And that comes back once again, it wraps back around to that connectedness, that, you know, the fact that we are all one, that you know, the fact that we're made of the same energy, you know, and once you like really do take that to heart and, you know, like embrace it, you know, you're less likely to judge other people as well as you're less likely to care if you're getting judged, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yeah, I understand that, you know, just like you said, I understand people. It's like, you know, if someone does something like what we deem terribly awful, like go and shoot up a school, you know, like in my mind, yeah, that's dysfunctional. That shouldn't be done. But I can also like understand why they did it because of, you know, what has their mind risen out of, you know, what kind of soil have they been, like what kind of marinade have they been, you know, stewing in all their life that causes them to be that flavor of something, you know what I'm saying? Like what causes them to be that.
Causes them to see the situation a certain way, and how you can understand as to how they're limited in their thinking process because they're taking on a certain energy or a certain way of being. So they haven't got the option to think in other ways because they're just being, you know, attuned to a certain way of being, to seeing a certain thing only a certain way. And that's what, you know, determines their actions. And you can see how they've been impacted or influenced by the media and other things around them, and how they could have accidentally misunderstood certain things, which deals with a crappy reception, a crappy way of receiving information and making sense out of it. And that's a mental illness.
It is. I think there's two kind of people in the world. You know, there's people that, like, to simply put it, there's hammers and there's nails. But in the way I would like to put it, you know, I think there's two kinds of people. There's people that are at effect by the collective consciousness of everyone else, and there's the people that affect the collective consciousness of everyone else, you know. Like you have, you know, someone that would go and, you know, shoot up the school. They have been influenced by the collective consciousness around them. But then you have figures like Gandhi or Jesus or Buddha. They have risen out of the collective consciousness and now they're affecting it, you know what I'm saying? It's like that. And I guess you can kind of, not saying that we're like Jesus or Gandhi or anything, but like, you know, the kind of role we've adopted in life is to, you know, be the effectors of collective consciousness rather than, you know, be an effect.
I get it.
Yeah.
But to be the effectors, you can't really be, you can play with the form. You can't really be, you know, most people say 1 foot in, 1 foot out. 1 foot in the programming, 1 foot out the programming, 1 foot in the matrix, 1 foot out. I just like being
in this world and not of it.
Yeah, I like being out and creating my own hologram, which in a way, you know, not many people can even see the hologram because they have their own hologram in front of them. It's like I need to find out a way to portray this in a drawing. A lot of people will see you, and they will see their own interpretation of you. They'll never actually see you as to who you are. Most people don't even get to your ego as to what you're actually putting out, because they've got this, their own interpretation, their own way of seeing you through other people that remind them of you, you know, who treat them a certain way. So they already start to come up with expectations as to what your behavior is going to be like, how you're going to speak, you know, and they do this so quickly.
Yeah.
So quickly. And it's like you're never being received as you. No one ever gives you a moment just to be yourself or to be received as a genuine, authentic being.
Unique individual.
Yeah. They just don't see.
One amazing quote that I heard from Jim Carrey that like deals directly with what you just said is he said the eyes, they act not just as viewers, but they also act as projectors. You know, with your eyes, you view the world, but you also project all of your interpretations, all of your experiences and feelings onto it. And a lot of people are too busy projecting that they never actually take the time to step back, stop that, and view it and take it in, you know?
Definitely. I remember, real quick, because we need to get into another question. Yeah. Real quick, this Christmas was terrible. All Christmases are terrible for me. And I had a beard at the time. You saw it when we had Skype, you know, last time. Yeah. And my auntie, she couldn't see me as I am because she was too distracted by the thought of Osama bin Laden or a terrorist while she was looking at my beard, you know. She says, oh, I don't like that. It doesn't suit you. You look like a terrorist, she said over and over again. And everyone else in the room, yeah, you look like a terrorist. You don't look good. I'm thinking, this is my facial hair, grew out of my face. It's a part of me. I shaped it my way. Genetically, it's me. Why are you thinking about someone else and, you know, bringing that feeling that you feel towards terrorists and bringing it up now and projecting it onto me and saying that you don't like the way I look. You don't like the way they look, not me. You know, they couldn't see that. They couldn't see that. I actually said that, I was paraphrasing, something along those lines. I said that to them, all of them. So I was in my moment of truth. I didn't care what they thought. I just, you know, I said, look, sorry you can't see me as who I am because you're being distracted by the thoughts of the terrorists that you've seen on TV. I said that. And they were like, oh, okay. That made a lot of sense. It's like the energy, the energy in the room just like cooled. And it felt really good. Yeah, mellowed down like instantly. It was like a diffuser. And I think for a brief moment they saw me as me, and I just left. I went upstairs.
That's crazy.
You know.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, well, thankfully I've done most of it. It's just everyone else needs to catch up.
Yeah, how about you throw one at us now? Man, we've answered 3 questions so far in an hour.
Yeah, I just need to turn something off real quick. There we go. 3 questions in an hour. Let's have a look. Oh, here we go. That's not really a question. We can chop that up in like a few seconds. Covert gaming says, how would you astral project to someone that you only met online? My guess is to think about how they make you feel when you talk to them. Yeah. Answered. Yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah. Or to elaborate on that, every feeling you can feel pretty much in the now, if you're not distracted by your past, how they made you feel and how they used to feel within the past. If you can be clear and just like feel them now, if they were in your space, how would they feel? You're going to biolocate. You're going to find out where they are on the earth, and you're going to feel their emotional state. Okay, and the reason for that is because you can only attune to their vibration whilst you're conscious in 3D. Okay, so if you're aware in 3D and you're trying to pick up on their vibration, you're only going to pick it up in 3D because you're in 3D. But when you start to use your pineal gland, you start to merge where your consciousness is at. So you may not be resonating in a 3D space anymore, and that's when you can pick up or biolocate other spirits and souls in other dimensions. And I figured this out through dreams first. I figured out in dreams. I wanted to find someone in a dream. I thought of them and they phoned me. I did the same thing in 3D. People started phoning me. You know? So then I took that to the astral realms. Do you have another one on your side?
Yeah, I want to add on to that real quick. I think it takes an extreme amount of consciousness, like, you know, awareness, to be able to project your mind out to do that, because that, you know, you describe it like it's so, you know, easy, but I think I'm at a level where it's still challenging me. You know, it's still like if I wanted to, for example, find like me a subscriber via the astral world, I don't know how to do that. Like, I mean, I can conceptually, like, you know, understand how to do it, but I think there's some blockages still in me that keep that energy from being able to expand out in that direction. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So it's like, what would be something you would recommend to clear those blockages so that you can, you know,
to get more subscribers? First, I'll do this. I'd sit like this, and I'll drop everything. Meaning every expectation, everything. Like right now, well, not at this present moment of time. Like 8 minutes ago, I was thinking about going to the shop. I was looking at the time. It closes at 11, right? It's 9 o'clock, which is fine. I've got ages. But you know, just those sequence of events. What I'm gonna do next. What I have to do today. What I have to do tomorrow. Drop everything. Don't think about it.
Completely slow that down.
Because you're not doing it now, right? It's distracting you. You're doing it then, so why are you going to let it distract you from the now? Why are you going to let it take up all your energy, which you have right now,
wander off,
that you can use for whatever you're doing right now to get 100%, you know, output? So drop everything and sit here and just realize what you've got right now is what you need for this now, present moment. Just drop everything. You don't need everything else. It's not your experience right now. Literally, the only thing that exists is now. So
true.
Then. Okay, so blockages with subscribers. Well, straight away, internal struggle. And I just got like a backlash from my last internal struggle, or the resistance towards me manifesting subscribers, which was, I'm going to have to, and it's just a belief that I picked up off someone else, I'm going to have to start talking about things that I don't really enjoy to get people to come to my channel. So that belief is there. So I got to get rid of the belief. Well, you know, maybe if I just talk about all the things I enjoy rather than just one specific thing, that's better. I'll get more subscribers, right? So that belief is now gone. And you'll attract your tribe. And again, it depends on why it is you want subscribers. If you want subscribers to connect to people like me or you, then it's a good thing to put every shade of Gordon out on YouTube. You know, every shade of Ryan, everything you're into on YouTube. And you'll get more subscribers. So you've got to sit with yourself and find out your beliefs and why they're blocking you. You know, what expectations that you have. You know, if I did do this, and all my family will see the videos, all my friends will see the videos, and they'll start to abuse me and stuff like that on social media. They'll track me down and start judging me and end up at my front door. Or it's going to be awkward when I bump into them in the middle of the town centre. You know, and you got to realize something. Most people probably... You know, if they're interested in your business, so okay, what's Gordon doing? They're going to stumble across your YouTube, and because they're interested in your business, they're going to be more open to what you have to say, because it's got your face in it. So the odds are they're going to like what you're going to have to say, and some part of them is going to agree with it. They're going to see how happy it makes you. So if they really like you, they're going to, oh, good for him, right? But then they're going to catch up because they want your information, not to scrutinize you or to judge you, to throw tomatoes or bricks at your face, but to actually want your information. So yeah, I mean, I've had enough experiences within my life to know that my false expectations, the fear-based ones,
I like that, false expectations.
They have no weight to them. There is no way that it's going to happen within my life. They're not going to, you know, come into my orbit so to speak, my series of experiences. There's no way, because I'm thinking too differently on a level. You know? The only way I could attract something like that was if I was completely fake, and I was a really bad person. I was just taking their money, and I was just proper ass. Gelled back hair for some reason, that's what I think about, and a mustache, 12, in a suit, you know. And yeah.
I see what you're saying, though.
But that's not
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you just got to realize that your life is actually better than you think it is. Everything, your friends, the relationships you're going to get into, your relationship with your family, if they figure out who you are, it's going to be better than what you think it is. Everything. Because you deserve better. You deserve your value in gold, right? Like everything, in friendships, relationships, in money, in the ability to do whatever it is you want whenever you want to do it, whether that be travel, anything. If you just be you, you're going to get it all. And just don't care about what other people think, because it's false anyway. It's just not for you.
I think war, like the worst thing that someone could adopt in their life is internal war. You know, that resistance to what they, it doesn't make sense to be anything other than what you are, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense, you know? That inner war, it fragments your life, you know? It cuts the flow off, cuts the manifestation process off. You know, it cuts off your power, you know, when you try to be something other than what you are, you know? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So it's like that internal peace, you're right. The more you find that internal peace and balance, I think it'll really aid in anything you try to do, whether it's, you know, out-of-body experiences, dreaming, money, doing whatever you want to do, job. It's true.
I mean, I know where they pick it up from. They pick it up from the childhood.
Yeah.
Because when you're from age 1 to 8, you look outside of yourself to make sense out of what you're most likely going to be getting involved with. Right? So then you start to expect other people's experiences. You start to expect that within your own life. And most people, their experiences aren't too good. And then you start thinking, maybe that could happen to me. Or parents, put your seatbelt on, otherwise you'll go through the window screen of the car, right? Instantly. Holy crap, I don't want that to happen. So you get a fear, right? So much, like, do this, do that, otherwise this will happen, otherwise this will happen, otherwise you'll go to hell, otherwise... So much crap, and eventually down the line we tend to believe in it. And then we start thinking or adopting that belief system, and then we feel fear when we try to plan how a situation is going to turn out, you know, an expectation. We feel fear because we're used to, it's like the path of least resistance. We've done it so many times in that way that it's what comes natural, you know, to fear the worst. You just got to realize that really it makes no sense because it's someone else's belief, it's someone else's experience, nothing to do with you. If it hasn't happened to you yet, and you've been holding on to that belief system for years, it's not going to happen to you. It's not yours. It's not your life. It's not. It's not your program.
It's not yours.
It's not yours. So you can just sit and be okay, knowing that you're fine the way you are, you know. But yeah, people, man, they need to just love who they are. And I don't mean like love every part of you. That's cool as well. But I mean like you need to love your journey, your life, your experiences. They're unique to you for a reason. Don't try to get what everyone else has. It's never going to work for you because it's theirs. You know, but I think it's because of the lack of their experiences, their happy experiences, because they've never started, you know, just being themselves and accumulating that emotional content from their experiences. To think or to get excited about something new, you know?
Patterns, people get caught in patterns of, you know, sending their consciousness outwardly to try to find meaning in life. When really, it's all you gotta do is just put it here and right here in this moment, and then move from there. You know?
Just show up and just be awesome. Put that on a t-shirt.
Alright, let's move forward. So I have a question here. It's from my buddy Nick Dees. What's up, Nick? You always posting good comments and ideas. Thanks for doing that, buddy. So right now he wants to know, I kind of cut it down because it was a few little content around it. He said, when I have my next lucid dream, what would be the best way to connect with my inner self, like the deepest part of myself. Because I'm guessing he wants to, you know, find out some inner truths that may be locked away, or maybe release some things that aren't necessarily aiding him in his journey. So, what are some ideas you can share with him?
First off, stop ignoring the voice inside you that tells you not to do something in your waking state. Because, you know, that's the you.
Or go with the voice that's telling you to do something in your waking state.
Because that's the voice that's showing up inside your dream time to present to you the situations that you should have solved within your waking state. So you've always got this connection with that part of you that's trying to make sense out of you, okay? Or you, which is trying to make sense out of the other part of you, the other aspect of consciousness, which you've now become, which is the character, the ego. And your soul self is just sat there like a little flame, and sometimes you can't even see the light reflecting off the walls, you know, because you're just not looking at it.
Yeah.
So you want to listen to that voice, and then you want to have a conversation with it. So you wake up from a dream, you write down your dream, you then read the dream, and how does it make you feel? Because that's how it's making your internal higher self feel. So you let that guide you to know, or to interpreting the dream. It'll just resonate with you, right? Which really is just your higher self saying, yeah, that's correct. That's what resonation is. So that, and then eventually what should happen is you'll become that inner voice and your ego will disappear.
Yeah.
And then when you go to dream, you'll be lucid pretty much all the time.
Yeah, I made a video called Lucid Dreaming and Reality Checks, and it was pretty much all about cultivating that awareness, that cultivate lucidity in your waking life, you know, cultivate that in your waking life, and it'll move forward with you into your dream life. So you can experience, you know, the inner exchange relationship that you're looking for in your dream life. You can experience that in your waking life. Like, there's been times where, like, for example, I'll get my journal out, and I'll ask myself a question, and I'll write, and I'll try to answer it as honest as I can, and I'll write, and then the more I allow, the more I begin to, like, stop resisting, the deeper, potent gems begin to come up, you know? So it's like, let that move with you into the dream. I think you cultivate it. You know, the waking life is kind of like the foundation for it. And that's, you know, the beliefs, all that stuff is cultivated right here in this moment. So
straight away, let's look at some more.
Maybe we should make another video sometime where we're just doing like speed questions, like just speed round. Because there's so many. Hopefully, some of these questions we've answered a couple questions in that one question, you know.
Here's one thing which will probably help a lot of people. The Cryptic Craft 2015 says, what kind of thing should I not do while I prepare my body for astral projection? Question mark, question mark. EX, 2 dots. Swallow. Focus on your third eye. Let your mind wander. I'm lost. So yeah, what things should you not do? Okay, swallow-wise, swallow. Don't try not to swallow. You're going to swallow.
Yeah, right? Like, don't resist swallowing. That'll just keep you anchored in your physical body.
Oh, yeah, because you're constantly paying attention to your throat. You're not going to astral project if you like that.
I don't know who like spread that idea. Like, just swallow it, just move forward, just...
All you got to do, literally, I learned this in first aid. Thankfully, I've only had to use this twice on actual people. But you just tilt your head up. Saliva falls. Doesn't get stuck. When you're like this, and you're on your back, you're going to swallow a lot. You know? And plus, when you're deep in thought, you don't salivate. You don't. Your mouth goes dry. Same as when you wake up in the morning, you've got a dry mouth. When you're deep in thought theta, your mouth just turns off. Everything turns off and you go dry. Your lips even go dry. and you can feel it. Have you ever tried to pull your lips apart in meditation? And it's like really dry.
Yeah, eventually it starts kicking up. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what should happen. If you're too focused in 3D, your mindset, you're too in alpha or beta. You're not in theta. You need to be in theta. Everything will turn off. But to get there, to head back, get into theta, you won't need to swallow.
It's almost as if you're just going to sleep. Like just
yeah.
I mean, just simply put, just go to sleep, but just keep a little bit of consciousness. You know, just
you don't want to say go to sleep. Because then they're like, okay, go to sleep. And then the energy of feeling tired will come on, it will mold their consciousness and they'll fall asleep. But what I do say is, if you can fall asleep, you can astral project. Not to say that if you can feel tired, you can astral project. It's to say that if you can shift your consciousness, or if you can allow the energy of feeling tired to mold your consciousness, then you have the ability to find out how to create the astral energy to mold your consciousness so that you can fall asleep. No, not so that you can astral project, so that your body can fall asleep and you can astral project. You know, so if you can fall asleep and shift into such a diverse pattern of consciousness, allowing you to fall asleep unconscious, you can do the same thing with the astral energy and allow that to put you into the astral realms. So everyone can astral project. Everyone's just in their own way. Like, literally.
Yeah. Perfect.
Focus on your third eye. Have you tried this?
Focusing on your third eye?
Yeah. Same question.
I don't focus on anything. Like when I'm going into the astral state, I don't focus on anything. I kind of just dissolve, and I allow my consciousness, my focus to dissolve, and just I guess after doing it so many times, you begin to like acquire the ability just to hold on to a thread of consciousness, you know, that way you don't fall into sleep. You begin to hold on to a thread of consciousness, and then once sleep paralysis and the vibrations kick in, and I'll notice I'll get a pressure on my third eye when the time comes, but I won't, I don't focus on that. What about you?
At the beginning, but I wouldn't be focusing on it and that's what causes the pressure. That's not what I did. I did the stuff before I felt the effects, and then it happened, and then my awareness went straight to my third eye, which was a problem, because you're never supposed to be distracted by what's going on. You're supposed to stay in the mindset, or keep doing what you was doing, which brought on the sensation in the first place. You know, so most people get distracted. But
you know, it's funny, from time to time, like yesterday, I had this early morning meeting, and I find that after I go to the meeting and come back, it's a perfect time for me to astral project. So I lay down flat on my back, and I begin to fall away, whisk away, and then I feel the pressures, I feel the sensations coming on, and then I got a little too distracted by them. And I found myself really I was able to get up, but I made it maybe like all the way to my feet, and I still couldn't move. I got up with my astral body all the way, but the pressure, me being so focused on the sensation of the pressure that I was feeling, I just fell back into my body. I made it all the way out, and then boom, back in my body.
Oh man, that sucks.
Dang, that was so close. Does that happen to you still sometimes, or
no,
are you able to?
It doesn't happen at all anymore. I don't feel any. I don't get stuck. Now I don't even feel myself slide out of my body. At first there was a bit of drag, like taking off a glove. Now I come out so light that sometimes I get out of my body and I don't realize that I'm in the astral realm. I think I'm still in 3D. I don't feel the separation. No, and recently now, since I've been doing the higher level of awareness, the new way that I astral project through the astral travel, the sacred geometry, and then the higher dimensions, I don't even feel myself leave the body at the beginning. It's more of I disappear from one point of space and I show up somewhere else, and I can feel that I'm somewhere else. Or the space in front of me expands, and then it just like shrinks or it expands in front of me and space behind me shrinks, and then I'm somewhere else entirely. It feels that feeling of motion is greatly exaggerated. It speeds up so quickly. You just know you're somewhere else. And that's what I'm doing recently.
It's funny when I was astral projecting more, like when I tried it, like I was really practicing it. I'd have that same effect where it's like I get up just like that. But lately in my life, things I've been going through so many changes in the 3D world, and I've been just not attempting it as often. You lose that momentum and that easy ability to get up. And so now I feel the drag again. I feel the drag of getting up, the pressure of, really trying to move my astral body. So it's kind of cool to see the effect, the difference, so people can see like, one side of astral projection where, in the beginning you're going to feel the drag,
Yeah, you're going to feel it.
As it goes on.
You're going to more than feel it. I remember at the beginning, Fantastic Four, right? Reed Richards, he stretches. My waist was stuck in my physical body, but my upper half wasn't. So I went to stretch for the door, and I looked behind me, and my torso was stretched out, like still in the bed.
Oh, that's crazy.
Talk about drag.
Oh man, that drag, yeah. No, it's fun. That's so funny, man. So cool to hear other people's experiences with it.
Or it feels like you're like really heavy and you can't move, and you're trying to get up off the floor, and you're like that. What's it? That training pod in Dragon Ball Z, where the gravity is like.
Yes, really that's heavy. Exactly what it feels like, yo. That's exactly what it feels like. The hyperbolic time chamber or whatever.
That's the other one. I almost thought that.
That's what Vegeta would be training in, that little capsule.
Yeah, capsule.
Turn the gravity up.
But also, you do get places like the hyperbolic time chamber in the astral realms. It feels like days have gone past, come back, and only an hour has gone past. That's incredible. The amount of knowledge and experience you can accumulate within like a couple of weeks in the astral realm, you come back and only an hour's gone. How old are you really if you can build that much experience and come back? You can leave.
Exactly.
I'd love to go to the place where it feels like 1,000 years, and then you come back. I've gone to a place where it feels like eternity, which means you break 1,000 years and it's like time doesn't even matter anymore. But that's not really cool.
Yeah.
When you come back.
You come back like, what the?
Yeah. You want some sort of reference point, But I'd love to go to a place where it's like 1,000 years or 2,000 years. You experience a lot of stuff, go into other worlds, a few lifetimes, and then you come back, like, an hour's gone. It's incredible.
This is a good segue as well. I had a dream once where I died in the dream, and from the dream, I astral projected into this other realm where I was around other entities, other people, and it was as if we were all in this waiting room, and as if like I had really died. I thought I had died, and I was in this waiting room waiting for something for the longest time, bro. I mean, I was like, there's people sitting around, and I'm like walking around this place looking. I leave outside, I fly up in the air and look around. I'm like, am I dead? I'm seriously dead. And I try to wake myself up, nothing. Try to wake myself up again, nothing.
Oh.
I go back inside this like place we were at, and then there's this little girl that runs in, and she's like, what happened? I was just in my room, and now I'm here. And she was so confused, and I'm like, I'm dead. I'm seriously dead. I'm dead for real. But the reason I brought that up is because time. I was there for what feels like days, just sitting around, just waiting and waiting and waiting. But I wake up and only 20 minutes has passed.
So you could have died and just come back to a parallel reality.
Died for real.
Yeah, you probably died for real. I mean,
and when I woke up though, I was like, like I had somebody had punched my chest, and I
That would be cool. Like if someone just like took your soul out of the waiting room and just like dragged you through different dimensions and found another body and just stuck you in there. Like it's not time to go yet. That would be cool. I have a sneaky suspicion that people do that in the astral realms. I mean, the only thing that I can come close to, other than dying a physical, but even then, I woke up at the bottom of the quarry. The only thing that I can come close to that experience would be the one where I was younger and I fell down the stairs in the astral realm, and I didn't think it was in the astral realm, and I broke my neck at the bottom of the stairs. And I looked up at the stairs, and I was just there waiting for someone to find me or for someone to hear that I fell down the stairs. I was really young. I had dreadlocks. And
you had dreads?
Oh yeah, I had dreads. They came down to here. We had to get rid of them because there was a kid who had nits, or little like head lice, and it ruined everything. So you can't really clean them out. So we had to shave off our hair. Our hair was completely bald. But yeah, then I felt my heart. This could actually be real. I felt my heart in the astral, what I now perceive as the astral realm. But in that experience, on the floor with a broken neck, I felt my heart contract hard. And then I woke up in my bed. Same thing as you, sweats, freaking out and everything. I then came out of my room, and as I went to go downstairs, I almost slipped, but I caught myself. And I saw myself in the same position that I was in. You know, it was all the same, running towards the stairs, but the only thing that changed is that I caught myself rather than falling down the stairs. Man, that was...
Oh, little precognition right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's creepy.
No.
Yeah.
You got a question on there?
Yeah. Someone just said, is astral projection in real time or like a dream state? But we've just answered that. And that was Savage Duck Boy. Oh, here's one. How long is the process of achieving astral projection? It's a common question.
Yeah.
How long does it take you?
When I first started, it took me about 2 to 3 months. I remember starting when I was in school and like in college when I first went to Mizzou, and I learned about it maybe the second month in. I tried it for a few months because I was already familiar with sleep paralysis, and so I would try it and I would experience sleep paralysis, but I was never able to separate. So I completely stopped trying. I detached my mind from it. I stopped caring. And then it's funny, once I did that, maybe like a month later when I was on winter break back home visiting my parents, I was laying in my bed and, I was asleep, and then I rolled over about 3 o'clock in the morning. Sleep paralysis hit me in the middle of me turning over, and I kept turning over, but my astral body kept turning. And next thing you know, I'm like floating, and I can see the TV flashing still on, and my body's still laying down, and I end up floating all the way out to my bedroom door. I go through my door, and there's this little vent that's like down by the door, and I'm looking at it like, holy crap, I'm out of my body. It's actually happening. And then I got scared, and I willed myself back to my body, and then I woke up the next morning like, whoa, I finally did it. But it took about 3 to 4 months, though. Long story short.
That was what? To learn how to do it, right?
To learn how to, well, yeah, till I had my first experience. From me discovering it to me having my first experience, about 3, 4 months.
Awesome. Yeah, for me to master it, for me remembering my first experience, because like I said, I drowned, then I had to pick up where I left off. It took me 4 years to master. 4 years. From the ages of 16. So I was 20 when I mastered it. So I've had 3 years. In 3 years, I've gone so far with astral projection from mastering it. And again, that 4 years was me looking at my mindset, piecing together things, writing books and books of notes, not looking outside of myself for the information, not looking at other people. People tell me, hey, have you read Robert Monroe's books? I haven't.
Nope.
We don't do that. We just go off of what we know, and that's what gets us this far.
Yeah.
And it's off of experience. So, yeah, but the quickest time it takes me to astral project.
Yeah, I remember you said something crazy number, like 15 seconds or something.
Less. Less than that. I think it took me like 3.
Oh my god.
Because I woke up from a dream, and then I was like, I'm going to astral project. Might as well just astral project. And I just turned a little bit, closed my eyes, and I was out. I just slipped straight out of my body. It was almost instantaneous.
So could you do it, like, say if you had been in a busy day or something, and you're just not getting home, and you sit down, could you easily do it just like that, or do you need to like?
No, I can astral travel like that. I can astral travel like that. But for me to astral project, I need to lay down and breathe. You know, just drop everything, like I said earlier. Then I'll do it, and then it'll take me like 5 to 10 minutes.
Mm. You know? Okay.
But,
and it's all just a process of detachment. You know, you're able to detach really quickly. A lot of people, it takes them 30 to 40 minutes to do it just because it takes that long for them to settle their mind down enough to detach that much. You know, but once you reach that level of consciousness and awareness, it's easy to detach. You know, like when I was really active in astral projecting, the fastest time I've ever done it probably about 10 minutes. You know, 10, 15 minutes, like just laying down and, you know, probably even sooner, like quicker than that, to be honest, just laying down and acting like mother taking a nap. And especially if I had that onset of tiredness.
How long does it take people naturally just to fall asleep when they're exhausted? That's most likely going to be your quickest astral projection time.
Perfect.
You know, if there are no blockages, if you know exactly how to do it, you know. And that's what I love about me being me. I've gone through so many different mindsets. I've been through so many things. I know how to get rid of the blockages. You know? So me studying for 4 years, really that 4 years was for you guys. For me to put out everything. All the blockages, the documentations of me documenting my mindsets, my beliefs, overcoming them. That was all really for everyone else. Not just myself. But that's why it took so long. Because I always used to be that kid who used to take apart the TVs, the PlayStations, the Segas, the computers, just to see how they work. You know? And all that's changed growing up is I've internalized that habit. And now I'm like obsessed with figuring out how my consciousness works and how it's wired. And let me tell you something. When you start doing that to yourself, you'll understand people so, like on such a deep level.
Yeah. I mean, and that is more evidence of just the connectedness, the natural connectedness that is, you know. Like the more you begin to accept yourself, even in your faults, even in, you know, the aspects of yourself that you may not quite have been comfortable with at one point in your life, the more you become, you know, gracious towards that aspect of you, it's easy to, you know, be the same towards other people.
Oh yeah, because you understand what's going through their mind. You understand why they take things a certain way, why they say things a certain way, and then you can't blame them for their mindset because it's a product of their circumstance. So you don't judge them. You understand that they're really not in control and it's not their fault. You know?
You know, you never know what variables may have affected their lives. You know? So just take that into consideration. It makes it a lot easier. I got to get a charge. My phone's about to die. Hold on a second.
Well, it's coming up to an hour and 40 minutes, so...
Well, yeah, we should probably, in that case, probably should wrap it up here, too.
Yeah? Should we wrap it up and probably do a Spitfire Q&A at a later date?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so for those of you who have tuned into this Q&A, and you made it the whole way through, first off, hats off to you. Thanks for being a part of it. We may not have answered a whole lot of questions, but hopefully through the tangenting of our dialogue, you were able to pick up some insights that will aid you in lucid dreaming, astral projecting. And like we said, we're going to go ahead and create a little Spitfire kind of round where we just go here soon. But this is our first kind of interaction via Skype with you all as well. So you can kind of expect it to be a little bit longer, more, you know, thought provocative. So
he'll be on here more often. Gordon will be on here more often on my channel also. For sure.
And for that's what Ryan here. We need to build this community up. You know, I think this is a really wonderful community of people that all seek, you know, higher knowledge to, you know, people that have the ability to see past this physical reality. You know, people that they have a sense that there's more to life than meets the eye. You know, so I love to expand and grow with you all in this community.
And those of you who are on my YouTube channel, Ryan Cropper, who I know you've all heard of him. I know you've heard of him, Gordon, because I heard of him before I was on YouTube. Okay, I believe I did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. a super video somewhere on lucid dreaming. So you've all come across him. If you forgot to subscribe to him, go over to his YouTube channel and subscribe to him. You know, boost up his subscriber rate. Because the more subscribers we get,
hold on, man.
The more our content spreads across the internet. Which means the more people can pick it up, which means our community can grow. And then Facebook groups like Ryan Cropper's Friends can grow, so you can have conversations that we're having right now, but on a social media platform such as Facebook. And, you know, just the giveaways, the competitions, you have more of a chance of being more connected with us and with the community if you share, like, or comment on these videos, because it spreads us everywhere, right, all over the social media. So give his channel a look-see. Subscribe. You probably find him on Facebook also if he's got a page. Or do you have anything? Do you have any links?
I have a Facebook page. You can find me at Gordon X on Facebook, but you can just type in my name, Gordon Phillips Jr. Or you can just subscribe to my channel from here. There's a link that you can leave on your side of the video. Just subscribe to my channel, and then on my banner, there's links to all my social media that you can follow me on.
Awesome. Okay, pal. Good speaking to you. I'll speak to you pretty soon.
You as well. Looking forward to future videos, man.
Definitely. Peace.
Later.